statement from Coach Brennan, and we'll take questions.
Good to see everybody. Obviously, this is a really, really important couple weeks for us as a football program. Coming off Friday night, I thought it was an awesome night in Arizona Stadium. I was excited about how we played. I thought red line was visible for everyone to see. The Zona Zoo selling out was epic. Talking to my guy Ben in the back about the bye week, but it might be a BYE week for me, but we need this to be a BUY week for our fans with season tickets and tickets for our upcoming home games, because when Arizona Stadium is rocking, it's a hard place to play. And we know we've got some big time opponents from the Big 12 Conference coming here in the next couple weeks, and that's something that we need to make these environments as challenging as I imagine Iowa State's going to be in 2 Saturdays. But we're excited about where we're at. We know we have work to do. This is a huge week for us in terms of improving, getting healthy, getting a jump start on the game plan for Iowa State. We have tremendous respect for Coach Campbell and that staff there. Those guys have built an outstanding program, and they've done it the right way. And so we know we've got a lot of work to do. And so everyone's here, ready to rock, and it's going to be a great week.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start with Justin and then Troy.
Through the first 3 games of the season, how would you assess the defensive side of the ball and what that unit has been able to show?
I think Coach Gonzalez and the defensive staff has just done an awesome job preparing those guys, building a mentality, the way they attack, the way that you see red line show up with them every game we play. There's still work to do there. There's still some things that aren't exactly what we want them to be, but in terms of those guys being 100 and you've seen that effort on the field, it's fun to watch. And so I think we're making progress there. You asked about defense, but I would tell you all 3 phases, us as a football team, we are a work in progress. And, we can feel good about the first 3, but they're over now and they don't matter. And what matters is what we're doing today and what we're doing tomorrow. And that's where our headspace is. So I know you're going to hear from Coach Gonzalez this week, but I think the defensive staff has done an outstanding job.
Troy and then Brian.
Similarly to that, on the special teams unit, it's kind of been a little up and down, recently down in the last game, but you guys were able to overcome that. How do you evaluate special teams going into this bye week?
I think we've got work to do there. I think there's some coaching that needs to be detailed up in some of those spaces. I think that Coach Niver is an outstanding special teams coach in terms of the detail, the energy, the time, the effort he puts into it. And I think that's part of that red line that hasn't shown up is the total execution in special team space. So I think the bye is coming at a valuable time because I think some of the challenges we had there are fixable, and we need to get to fixing them.
Brian and then Michael.
What is the schedule like for you guys in terms of practice and then maybe recruiting for you guys beyond that?
So it's going to be treated like a little bit like a typical week. The players are off today, and we'll practice tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then the coaches will go on the road recruiting Thursday night or Friday, and a little bit on Saturday. Not everybody. With the amount of evaluation opportunities changing with the new rules this year, there's a few less, so we don't want to use them all this bye because we have another bye later, which we also want to get out. So, so that's the schedule. We won't have a night practice this week because the coaches need to get on the road and get into position so that 6:30 in the morning, 6 in the morning on Friday, we can start moving towards schools and getting into schools and seeing the coaches and the players we need to see.
Michael and Jason.
Obviously, the holding penalties have been an issue on offense. Seems like anecdotally, a lot of them are situations where the ball carrier is past the line of scrimmage. Maybe the lineman is grabbing the defender who's trying to break away. What are you seeing when you look at the film of those, and what are some of the points of emphasis that maybe the lineman can work on to not do that in the future?
Yeah, I think that's obviously something that is a huge thing we need to fix, starting tomorrow in practice. The good news is I got faith in Coach Oglesby. He's an awesome coach, and those players are trying their hardest, right? That's not an effort problem, right? And so guys have to be smart about hand placement. They have to be smart about when a defender gets outside the framework of their body, to let go, you know what I mean? And so that's something that I know we're going to drill the hell out of in the next couple of weeks so that we can hopefully eliminate those things, because they've stalled drives for us, and they've put us behind the sticks too many times in positive field position.
Jason and then David.
And it's not just O-line either, right? We've had some of those on the perimeter too. So that is something collectively as an offensive football team that we have to get that fixed.
Two questions, Rob.
Here we go.
Kind of building off the offensive line question, the decision to go with Chuba over Wooten to start the game at least, what went behind that decision?
So everything in the practice environment is about competition, and that thing kind of went back and forth all week. And we had initially we're going to let them play 2 series and switch to, you know what I mean? And then we went with the hot hand, and that was really how it played out.
And then with the receivers, when you watch the film, they've been inconsistent at times. Turning in more specifically, do you think the separation was there against Kansas State, or is that something that was a one-off, or just in general, how do you think they performed?
Oh, I think they're always going to think we can play better. I think, in that game we actually had a couple drops, which had not been, part of us, and a couple of them were, not hard. So I think there's some technique stuff that we can clean up there, and Coach Wade, just with who he is and how he coaches, I got a lot of faith in that man, and so do our players. And I think as we continue to play better and better teams every week, right? Like the separation is going to be more demanding to get, right? Because you're going to be going against better personnel.
David and then Justin.
Coach, obviously last year we heard about red line. You introduced that to us when you arrived here, but it seems like this year there's a higher emphasis on talking about it, speaking it. We've heard you speak about it. We've heard the coaches speak about it. We saw the video in the locker room, and Joe Salavea before the game is yelling it to the players. Did you feel like going in that you needed a heightened emphasis on that this year within the group?
Absolutely, because I honestly believe that effort, execution, and accountability are things that we have to win football games. Like those are things that we have to give us a chance to play good football on game day. And so that being a huge point of emphasis, I think we're doing a better job. And I give the players credit too, because they've really leaned into it, where it's not new. They know what it looks like. They know what the expectations are. And because of that, we're getting a better demonstration of it in practice and then on game day.
And as a coach, when you see a player like Trey go through what he went through, come back, and immediately he comes back on the field in his first game and makes a huge play, what does that mean for you to see that?
It was awesome because, Traden Stukes is a leader on this team. He's been a very, very good player here for multiple years, and he went through a really hard thing. But to watch how he has continued to lead, how he's continued to carry himself, just the person he is for our football team, the person he is for the defensive back group, like that leadership. He's the guy that was recovering, but he never hid on the sideline. He was always in the mix, always encouraging his teammates, always challenging his teammates, always bringing energy to the practice environment and the game day environment. And so, he is a universally respected player on our team, and everyone loves him. And so I think that moment was just as exciting for the team to see him make that play as it was for Stukes.
Justin and then Michael.
Ismail Mahdi got Big 12 the offensive player of the week. What do you make of his performance last week? And just the running backs as a whole, what do you make of what they've shown for the first 3 games?
No, I think we're excited because we've seen production from multiple guys, right? Obviously, Ish had a big time game, and our O-line got the beef award of the week, right? Isn't that what they're calling it? I love it. Like, what a great name for a bunch of big ass dudes, But those things go hand in hand, right? Like, Ish isn't doing those things if the offensive line is and the tight ends aren't creating those opportunities for him, right? And so I think that was really, really special. It was exciting because he was a guy that got banged up a little bit in training camp and he missed some reps. And so when we went to those other games, obviously Ked and Q ended up playing and playing well, right? But it's exciting to see him get in there and make plays. And I think we're all really excited about the future of that whole group, really.
And then Riley Wilson, what's just kind of the latest update with him?
I don't have any updates on Riley right now. The availability report will be out next week, so you guys have an idea as we get closer to game time.
I think you said on Saturday night or Friday night that Rhino was still on a pitch count. Is Traden also on a pitch count situation, like building up as you go along?
Yes.
So I noticed that some guys had stickers on their helmets and some guys didn't. Are you going to bring back those stickers and reward players for
Yes.
their helmets? Yeah.
Yes, that's already started.
What will the basis for that be? Like, what are some of the things that they can do?
Explosive play, takeaway. If we get a win, everyone gets one. Yeah, big pass, big run, stuff like that.
I guess you think that that's cool, that tradition.
I do think it's cool, you know, and it started because every day I walk into my office and I see that picture of Chuck on my wall right there, you know, or on the wall in the hallway, and his helmet looks so cool with all those, you know, Wildcat paw prints on it. So, yeah.
Troy and then David.
Looking at the game plan this weekend in terms of recruiting, what states are you guys looking to hit, and what is the plan when you're out and about during that recruiting?
Yeah, so we already had 2 guys get out on Saturday. They flew out early Saturday morning, so we hit Northern California and Hawaii. This week we'll be in Texas, Utah, California, Las Vegas, Washington. Yeah, Washington. So we'll go hard. We'll go hard, and I'll have a busy day in California with Coach Daggy, which will be great. I can't wait. It's awesome. I love getting out because I think the relationship with high school coaches is so important, and I think, you know, over time you build trust with those people if you do right by their players and you treat them the right way. And so, and as a head coach, it's less and less that I'm allowed to go out by nature of the rules. And so the opportunities I do get out, it's great for me to get to go to high schools where I've been recruiting for 25 years, you know, or 20 years. So I'm excited to get out. I'm excited to see, you know, the players that we're excited about trying to recruit or bring to Arizona.
David and then Justin.
Coach Chase Kennedy had a number of situations where he was able to pressure the quarterback in that game and create negative plays. What have you liked just about his development in that new role, kind of a rush in?
I think he's making a move as a player. I really do. And, you know, Chase is one of those guys that was, you know, new to us last year and kind of getting his sea legs, so to speak. But I think you see him starting to accelerate, which is what you hope for players that are in the program over time, is that they're developing and their process is getting sped up each week, and you can start to see them having more impact as they play. So I think we're excited about Chase, and obviously we're excited about the whole defense, but it's fun to see him starting to step into that role that we believe he can be.
And obviously Noah was kind of maybe the guy that stood out with his legs in that ball game. The play he scored on, it didn't seem like maybe that was designed exactly the way that he ran it. What were you guys looking for there? What did you just like about the way he found the opportunity to make a play there?
I would tell you this, every play that's drawn up is designed to score. Every single one, you know what I mean? Obviously it doesn't always happen that way. But yeah, like he's a really good football player, right? And really good football players find ways to make plays when it doesn't look exactly perfect. And the truth is, with as good as Kansas State is and with as good as Iowa State is, it doesn't always look perfect, right? And you need guys to, you know, rely on some instinct, some talent, some vision to make big plays, and he did.
Justin and Jason.
I know it's still really early in the process, but do you have any early impressions of Iowa State and what that contest is going to be like?
I think it's going to be a monster. These guys are really, really good, right? They're ranked 12th in the country. They run the ball extremely well. Their quarterback is a stud. They've got good football players everywhere. We're going into their place. It's a 6 p.m. kick, I believe. So it's going to be rowdy. It's going to be hard to hear, like all that stuff. So, you know, I think this is one of those awesome moments where you know you're going to play an extremely good football team, a nationally ranked football team on the road in a hostile environment that has been there for a long time, a very established program with an excellent coaching staff. It's an awesome challenge for us.
And then going through the road schedule last year, what was it like just playing in Big 12 venues and going through the conference schedule?
Yeah, I thought it was great. You know, I thought it was one of those things where you realize how important football is in this new conference. Everywhere you go, the crowds, the atmosphere, what game day looks like, you know what I mean? Like, they are rocking and rolling. Like, it is an important thing in all these towns, you know, because it started off with Kansas State last year. That was the first one, right? But we're expecting a very similar rowdy environment in Ames. And like I said before, it's an awesome challenge for our football team.
Jason and then Michael.
So when you watch this year's defense, it feels like there's a clear difference in defensive intensity, tackling, physicality, all of that than there was last year. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know that I have a perfect answer for you there. I would say I think the easiest thing is that there was a full year of development in that. It wasn't a spring ball and then like a portal and then a spring ball and then another portal and then like this chopped up thing. Like this thing was, we started this in January, you know what I mean? And so I think that helps that. And like I said, I think with what we're doing on defense, you know, having coaches on the staff that have been part of that scheme before also helps it. But I also think you got to give credit to the players. They're the ones that are making those plays. They're the ones that are executing. They're the ones that are living red line every time they step on the field. And so you should ask them.
We'll finish up with Michael and Justin.
All right, 2 questions for you. I was watching that video that U of A football put out last night, just recapping the game and all that. At the very end, Noah handed the ball to Trey Spivey after taking the victory formation. Did you notice that, and what did you think of that, Jeff?
I just noticed it in the video. I didn't see it, at the end of the game. That's not surprising. I mean, I think sometimes those things get made to be too big of a deal, right? We're playing against the school he transferred from. And it's every week. Every team you play, right? It's not like, you know, Joe Montana going to play for the Chiefs. You know, that was a big deal. It was like one guy. You know, now there's like multiple players off every roster, you know, all over the country, you know, doing that now. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I thought it was cool. I thought Trey played well in that game. I thought he made a great play in a big situation and took a huge hit and came back ready to rock, you know, and play good football. So I thought that was just a cool gesture from our leader, Noah Fafita, just being respectful and handing the ball at the end of that moment, because I'm sure it was special for him.
Sure. My other question is, the calendar hasn't even flipped to fall technically yet, and 2 coaches have been fired already in major college football. What do you think that says about, I don't know, the state of the game, or what were your feelings after you saw that happened?
Yeah, you know, anytime someone goes through that, like, my heart goes out to them and their families and the assistant coaches and to the players in the program, because those transitions are incredibly tough. You know, like, I think college football has become big business. I think, you know, sometimes we try to act like it's not, but it is. And that's the harsh reality of it. And, you know, everybody that's in it. I'll tell you a funny story. A long time ago, I went to work for Rich Ellerson at Cal Poly. So I was here as a GA. Rich got the Cal Poly job. So he hired me and a young David Phipp to go coach there. And it, you know, and it was, we were pretty young and pretty green as coaches. And so we were rebuilding a program at Cal Poly. And so we took some tough losses there. And I remember Coach Ellerson saying, I think I was like complaining or just being, you know, a baby about something, but Coach Ellerson said to me, "Hey, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it," you know, which we do. And we love every minute of it. But my heart goes out to those coaches and their families and the players, and just kind of what that transition is going to be for them, especially with so much football left to play.
We'll finish up with Justin.
So I don't know if we asked you about this, but the NCAA voted to, or they support the 1 transfer portal window. What do you think about that and what that could do for the schedule?
I think that's helpful. I think the more clarity we get on schedule, calendar, just a consistency where everyone's kind of on the same page is good for college football. I think I like the 1 portal because I'm of the headspace where we're going to build our program from January, you know, to August, and then we're going to get, you know, I mean, like, so I think like that part of it. So I think having the team intact for that whole time is important, right? Like, you're going to know who your players are. You're not going to go through spring practice and then all of a sudden lose a couple key pieces of your team. You know, now how all this ends up working out, I don't know, but I'm excited about it. I'm supportive of it.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Bear down.